It is that time of the morning. Running a little bit behind this morning. As you can see, it is Thursday. Happy Thursday. I know all is well on this beautiful morning. And I truly, what shall I say? I don't even know what to say, man. Except for I am really excited this morning. Always excited anyway. So, on this beautiful morning. So, yes. I kid you not. So, how many miles am I doing today? I don't know. But I know I've been pushing myself a lot lately. And I mean a lot. I have been pushing myself a lot. That's what I've been doing, pushing myself a lot. Yes, I've been doing that. So happy Thursday again. Oh my goodness, let me tag certain people here. What can I say? Listen to the birds sing or something. Yeah, listen to the birds. Wake up to this beautiful, what I call beautiful life. Life is a journey. Yeah, I can see some water dropping on my camera. Let me see. I guess that's it. Yeah, I got some water on my camera, so I got to clean that up. And I always talk about, I'm not even gonna say nothing. Get up in the morning, do your push-ups on the yoga mat until you get tired. Breathe heavy into the body. That's just it. Wake up in the morning, drink a couple of waters, a couple of cups, whatever fills your belly up. Get on your yoga mat. Do your push-up very slowly. Each time you get tired, get into a yoga pose and breathe hard into the body with the top of your lungs, you name it. And that's just it. So, because it's really funny what this thing can actually do to the human psychic. I also think it's time we start creating time for ourselves every morning. I mean, when I look around these days, it's like people are just so angry. I don't know why. We have so much to be grateful for. We don't even know how to be grateful for it anymore. We're just so angry. And what it does, so like myself, it makes me not even want to be around it. Yeah, we're just so angry. Especially at our job these days. Yeah. It's funny, a lot of our corporate world has sent many into depression without even realizing it, because many people have bosses that talk down on them every single day, but because you want to look after your family, you stay down there and take the abuse. I think it's time that our corporate world started to implement mindfulness. To a leader doesn't always to be somebody that's under anxiety attack. Most of our corporate wars, and I mean, because I've been there, it's like the supervisors don't even know how to control their tempers. Yes, they don't. Morning, sir. Yeah. So most of the supervisors do not know how to control their temper. Most of the so-called bosses are very immature mentally, and what that does to us that we don't realize, when an employee gets abused, he thinks that's normal. He take it home to his family. His family begin to act that way. They pass it on, and that's how we spread those type of energies without even us realizing it. Because all it takes is any message that we as human beings wanted to deliver. All it takes is one person to tell the other, and that's it. So a lot of jobs that we do, the abuse is constant. And it's really time that we start taking things like this serious, because we don't know where mental illness is coming from. Can you imagine someone puts in so much work into his job to look after his family? He got abused, and when that time comes for him, or if anything happens, he's the first person that gets laid off. And when he gets laid off, his confidence is totally killed. And those things does have a lot of psychological effects on an individual. But the people that still has a job, because they have yet to experience things like that, we're very judgmental. Extremely judgmental. And that is because sometimes we don't understand these chemicals of the brain. Because a lot of people, their functionality depends on their materialism. Once everything that they, like their car, their house is gone, most people do not know how to behave. I can just say that right now. When people lose their material status, they do not know how to behave. It's really funny how, I'm not going to mention any religion or anything like that, but most of my religion friends, anytime they get challenged, they always replaced their religion with drinking and smoking. Yes, they always do that. It never failed. And it's not because of the religion, it's because of not understanding proper psychology and how to be happy from within. So these things, every time stuff comes into my head like that, and I begin to talk about it. And another thing also is, most of the time, I've been to job interviews to where the guy has whoever the interviewer is, has no sense of health consciousness, but they will interview based on negativity. That's why a lot of time, and I'm just not intentional, this has nothing to do with race. That's why a lot of time when you go into a corporate world, there's less minority there. Because a lot of minorities, we just don't get hired. It doesn't matter how smart you are. We just don't get hired just based on that color of the skin. It's not intelligent, it's got nothing to do, And some do get hired, for me to say, but most just don't. It is so funny these days that we have actually, what do I say? And that's what I love about running. Good morning. Because right now, running is the only thing that's not discriminating. And I'm just saying that running, exercising, especially running, is the only thing that's not discriminating right now. Because that's the only time that everybody comes along and get together. But the rest of it, including, and I'm going to say this, all the yoga status, because these days everything about yoga there's still less minority in it. So I'm just, and I think we all have a platform to speak our voices. And I think sometimes, I'm probably going to upset a lot of people this morning. But yes, even when I go into the yoga communities, same thing. Most of the teachers are not even ready to teach. They have no sense of consciousness. Because those things takes a lot of years of hard work. Because giving somebody a certificate saying she's a yoga instructor, she can lecture someone about spirituality just because they pay $4,000, that doesn't really show love right there. It shows that we are putting those energies that we need to heal from in our society. And that's why I really haven't wasted my time, and I don't mean it in a bad way, to get no yoga certificate. Because I've practiced for many, many years. I've yet to meet most of my teachers that will tell me that they woke up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock to practice. And when you truly study yoga, truly and truly, it'll really, really enlighten you. The yogis, I give respect to. And I'm saying those yogis in India, I followed a lot of them. I use the example. The discipline that comes with yoga, most of these teachers, and I mean most, just do not have that discipline. So, and those are the things right there that when I look at it, and that's why it's funny that it's coming from somebody that's actually running. I truly, truly love this life because most of the things that transpire these days has nothing to do with race, but I call it the delusionized thinking. Because when I'm among certain groups, and I'm going to keep on saying this, look at that beautiful garden. When I'm among certain groups, I'm just an African. When I'm among another group, I am a black man. Then when I get into another group, I act like a white man, I was being told. And I look at this thing and I laugh so hard. And it's one of the reasons why I just do what I wanted these days. I stopped listening to society. I just get up and just live life to the fullest. With the hope that one day a little boy is going to see this and know that every time they go through trauma in their lives, they don't have to turn to drugs, drinking, smoking, and yelling. They can turn to their inner being and realize the power to change the mind is within. There's two different education. There's the one that you get from education, where you've been taught. But the real education is the one. Listen to that noise. See that truck right there. But the real education is the one that you get by coming into nature. The teacher is not there. It's just the observation. Something will begin to arise in your brain. And especially if you're the type that does yoga every single morning and really twist your body, the yogis always talk about how much push-up you do. And I used to kind of look at it funny. But the moment you tap into that, you realize everything from your spine to your fingers, your wrist, your nose, everything is tied to the spine. When you begin to stretch properly, you will actually feel movement in your hand. Even when you're running, when you're jogging, you will feel movement in your wrist. And anyone who studied the holistic kind of thinking can quote me on this. Excuse me. When you begin to twist your body properly, how do I say this? Breathe into your body. You will begin to feel movement from your spine all over your body. Your spine is just connected to everything. And when that spine is sleeping, when you're not connected that way, you are shutting your airway down to the highest higher self within you. And that's why when you look at scriptures, from the Holy Bible to the Quran. All those books were written when man was wandering, jogging, because that's what created all this time on the feet. This is all new, having a car and doing all that and trying to make it look like your education is actually inside of the classroom. No, your education is actually outside in nature. That's why sometimes the more degrees some of our professors have, the more stressed they are. Because most professors, and I'm jumping topic now, most professors only use one side of the brain. And that side of the brain is the intellectual, just to sit down there and read all day and not do the other part, which is to get out in nature. That's how collaborate. That's why most professors are just stressed out. And it makes you wonder, man, he's so smart. Why does he drink? Why does he this? No, they're not coming out in nature. That's how you were made. You wandered everywhere. You jog everywhere. We don't even need a gym, because your gym is you. You got your push-ups and those type of things. When we begin to talk about it, people just get upset. There's certain place when I go to, I see how people are so mad when you don't wear the mask. They'll force you to wear the mask. Ask you why you don't wear a mask. And to keep peace, because I can't breathe properly wearing those masks, because every day when I'm out, I'm using my nose to breathe. There's a reason why the yogis say we should breathe through our nose 1,000 times a day. So when I go into these places, and I don't say nothing, because the people that usually say that, I can just look by their posture and by the way they're standing, that they don't practice conscious eating or conscious healthy style of life. So then that's the reason why I gotta be in my center stage, not to misuse the proper word, because this is not all about judgmental. It's all about reminding each other of stuff. Sometimes I feel like an intellectual from an African descent is being bullied, because I always say this. Let me say this before I go. Everybody always go down to, and especially our Christian missionaries, we go down to Africa to do missionary works all day long, tell the Africans to come to Christ, but yet, anytime there's trouble, most of the people that went to this continent to say, give your life to Christ, anytime they go through a challenge in their lives, they're very quick to replace the same thing that they've been practicing, that they've been teaching me as an African, with a substance. And the answer to that I always get is, we are all human. Yes, we are all human, but we also know how to control our mind. So those excuses, it's just, Then I was talking to another lady. I said I can just read people's energy. She said, how? I said, every time I step somewhere, because of the way I put my hair and let it all grow funny, the first thing that people see is the color of my skin. She goes, no, it's an assumption. I said, no. How do I know? All you have to do, get up every day, 2 o'clock in the morning, breathe into the body, and open up your psychic intellect. You could just read people's posture and truly understand what they're saying. There are people who study those things. So, it's just that it's not, it's just not talked about so much, because when you begin to open that posture, that sense of psychic in within you, you could just see people, just their body language. It's like writing a note. Their body language is like writing a note. So that's another stereotype that people use to say, oh yeah, it's because you're an African descent, you're just misjudging. No, it's just if you want to believe, to try it and evidence, every morning, get up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., breathe into the body hard, meditate, and see how clairvoyant you become. That's why I don't take religion serious anymore. Because in order to understand what most of these preachers, I won't say preachers, most of these intellectual claim to practice, you have to get up in the middle of the night and breathe into the body. The Bible even said it very specifically, that pray. But that's taken lightly. So if you cannot spend 2 to 3 hours by yourself every morning, just breathe into the body, how are you going to understand people around you? And of course, the excuse is, I have a job, I have a kid. But trust me, when nature provides you with that, when you have a health issue, break a leg, trust me, you will sit your biscuit down and be by yourself. So, and that's why those things, I sort of look at it and just, because everybody always want to seek enlightenment. They want to find that peace. But what goes to finding peace is extremely disciplined. What goes to get enraged of addiction sometimes, or whatever it is that one is going through, requires serious discipline. There's no prayer on earth that can help you unless you tap into yourself from within. And those things we need to get straight, because it's about time that we stop being afraid of telling the truth. Because what is that made you is within you. If you truly want to enlighten yourself, know who you are, practice celibacy. I'm not saying don't have a girlfriend, but there comes a time where you have to practice celibacy. Not drinking, not smoking, and above all, there's nothing wrong with eating animals, but that moment when you are seeking that clairvoyance, you take no dairy product. If you do that for 6 months and get up in the middle of the night, you will change your own life. Other than that, you better believe it. You're always going to be in that energy that you think is miserable. So this morning, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but it's just that reality has to come. I have been inspired by so many over the last years, because the judgment, the talk down has really, it turns into an inspiration. The more people just talk like that, I feel their pain, and it just makes me want to come out and run more and speak. I just live this life, just enjoy it. So, that's what I'm thinking of this morning. You know, and because it is time, in every religion, every culture, every whatever you want to call it, practice discipline. Practice those things that I talked about, and you will see, it doesn't matter what you believe in, that God, higher self, knock on your door. So, let me look at these flowers. Whew, and slow down a bit before I just keep moving. Yes, I'm saying that. I'm actually on that thing of, I don't know why I'm doing this. For some reason, I had that voice in my head. I tell me I need to run 27 miles every day. I'm like, what the biscuit? And I'm thinking, what the biscuit? What more can I ask for? What about if I never had the opportunity to be in this type of situation where I would just go and do this every day? So I said, you know what? To the biscuit. Let's get it on. I'm going to do it. So this is for everyone that's going through a hard time, mentally, spiritually, because we never go through a hard time financially, whether we want to realize it or not. There's nothing called financial difficulties, but there's something called mental difficulties. You know, and the people who are really in tune with themselves will understand this. There's nothing called financial difficulties, but there's something called mental difficulties. So let's work on it. One love.